How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Barack Obama's secret off-the-record speech he gave at MIT. During this speech, there was to be no cell phones, no recording devices, no video cameras, none of that. So it was in front of 3,500 people. I don't know if they were just trying to prevent the press from hearing what he had to say. I really don't know what the point of not having any kind of coverage of this speech was. But of course, with that many people in the audience, the record of it did get out, audio of it did get out, and the audio will be in the description box. It's about an hour long. Reason.com was able to get the audio some kind of way. I don't really know how, but you see the headline on the screen before you, right over my left-hand shoulder. It says, "We didn't have a scandal that embarrassed us in my presidency." This is Barack Obama talking. Now, obviously, that on its face is false, but the way he said it was sort of true, and I'll explain before we even get into the article, which is pretty short. What he meant by that was we didn't have anything in the White House specifically, like as far as White House drama, like this person getting fired, that person getting fired, or whatever the case may be. That was directed at Donald Trump, because he's referring to people like Scaramucci. He's referring to Omarosa. He's referring to, some of the things that have happened as it relates to that. But as far as things that have embarrassed the White House symbolically, there's plenty of that, and we'll get into that as the article continues. And the article reads, former President Barack Obama denied that his administration had any scandals that embarrassed him or his team. It is unclear why Obama clarified that there were no scandals that embarrassed us. I'll explain why he said that at the beginning of this video. Quote, "There were mistakes," he admitted. "We'd screw up, but there wasn't anything venal during 8 years. I know that it seems like a low bar, but you look at the presidency, that's no small thing." So that right there, that was a direct dig at Donald Trump. But here's where the rubber meets the road. Conservatives remember that Obama years differently, citing the Fast and Furious scandal. Yes, and if you don't remember the Fast and Furious scandal, that's when him alongside Eric Holder decided to basically gun run some guns to New Mexico, Arizona, with the hope that they would get to the Mexican drug cartels and that they would be able to track them straight to the leaders. But what ended up happening was most of the guns got lost. They didn't track anything. Some of the guns turned up in murder south of the border. So it was really a big mess. All they did was just give the cartel and anybody else some guns basically free of charge, or they supplied them with guns for a small fee. That's what that was. It didn't work the way it was supposed to work. That was a very big scandal. The IRS scandal, if you don't remember that, that's when the IRS was proven. This is not just, a rumor. It wasn't just somebody saying something. They were proven to target conservatives specifically. Conservative organizations got targeted by the IRS for audit in a very unfair way. That was most certainly true. Again, not a rumor. The wiretapping journalists, yeah, a lot of that was going on. He also wiretapped the Trump White House, and then people talked about Trump was floating conspiracy theories. I saw that headline right on CNN, and if I could find that article, I will link to it in the box below. But they said that Trump was floating conspiracy theories for saying that Obama was wiretapping them, but it might not be true. But not only him, many others as well fell to the same fate. The terror attacks in Benghazi, that was a big mess when they're talking about it was based on the video. It was a whole big thing. Hillary Clinton was involved with that. And that's not even talking about Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State and all the quid pro quo that was going on with her in that post under Barack Obama. The Democratic Party in general was a big mess under Obama. They were left penniless after Obama. They had to basically hitch their wagon to Hillary Clinton to gain any kind of money to be doing any kind of fundraising. And now that Hillary Clinton is not running anymore, they're back to being broke, and they don't have anybody to be Obama's successor. He's like Killmonger when he burned the heart-shaped flowers in the garden so no king could come beyond him. But that's a different story, and I digress. Delivering pallets of cash to Iran. Now, that was kind of a weird situation. What happened with that was part of the Iran nuclear deal. And to make a long story short, Iran had sanctions on it, so where they cannot be involved with the international banking system. So you couldn't just give them money through a wire transfer or anything like that. So it had to be delivered physically in cash. with, coins, bills, or whatever. So it was pallets of cash had to be delivered because of that technicality. You couldn't just wire them the money electronically. And that money that they got was owed to them via an old deal from when the U.S. had taken some money from Iran to deliver weapons. But then you had the Islamic Revolution that happened in the 70s. And at that point, the deal was cut off, but the U.S. still had the money. So as part of the Iran nuclear deal, they're like, okay, give us the old money you still owe us from back in the day where we gave it to you, but you did not supply us the weapons. Now, I know people don't like that, but that's just what the deal was. And I will say that beyond that point, the Iran nuclear deal was not a good one. And then former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's illegal use of a private email server for government emails. Yes, like I said, Hillary Clinton was totally corrupt during the Obama years. A lot of this was going on right under his nose, maybe even with his best wishes. So I can't really take him seriously when he says that. He's saying it in the way to obfuscate the truth. And that's the worst kind of liar. Somebody that will say things that they know are halfway true, but can be taken in a way that somebody would instantly see as totally false. But then the defense will be, well, technically I meant this. I hate people like that. I hate people that do that, because that's just somebody that is trying to, that's somebody that's not being genuine. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't have ambiguous, endings to your statements. Obama's speech at MIT was strictly off the record, but the reason required the audio. And like I said, that is in the box below. There was much more talked about than just the scandals or lack thereof in the White House during this speech from him at MIT. He was there to talk about sports analytics. I'm not really sure why he was at MIT to talk about that. It was pretty weird. He was talking about basketball, climate change, social media, a lot of different things. I may do a video about basketball because he was talking about how the NCAA should not be used as a farm team, and the NBA needs an actual, amateur league or minor league. Even though they do, it's called the G League. And you also have overseas play. So if you are somebody that's coming out of high school and you don't want to go to college, you can go to the G League. You can also go overseas if you're good enough. One thing I will say is that you should be able to come straight out of high school and go to the league rather than the one and done rule. But I digress. I'll talk about that in a different video. The former president also insisted there was not much drama either, thanks to his leadership and organizational skills. Well, I think the reason for lack of drama was because he had his friends, he was engaged in nepotism. So it's easy to be drama free, where you could just hire your best friend from college or whatever to work for you. You see, but when you hiring people that's actually going to get the job done, you may have some conflict of personalities, of interests, and that's where drama may stem from. And also people that want to infiltrate the White House and do whatever they want to do. There was never Obamas in the Obama administration because Obama was a company guy. He was a establishment guy, but Donald Trump was going to have never Trumpers on all sides of the political spectrum, left, right, and center, because they are part of the establishment. They don't want to lose their positions and their jobs. So therefore, they're going to try to attack him. So you're talking about two different kind of men. One that's going to be married to the establishment because he has no other choice. He is a career politician. And then the other guy who is a career businessman and got into politics late in life. But Obama failed to mention reports of his press secretary, Robert Gibbs, cursing at Valerie Jarrett and First Lady Michelle Obama. Gibbs left the administration soon after. I did not hear about that. Oh, one more thing. One more piece of drama was the whole kerfuffle with Loretta Lynch and Slick Willie on the tarmac. That's not necessarily in the White House, but that is a piece of drama right there that happened under his watch that he didn't really mention. Obama admitted that there were arguments among his, quote, team of rivals, unquote, in the White House, but it was more about people trying to solve tough issues. I'm sure there was. I don't see a difference between what was going on in Trump's administration, because people, like I said, you're hiring the best people to fill the role in the government to get things done, and they may not always see eye to eye. They're strangers. They're just not meeting each other. So people are going to have different points of view, different ways of life, and that may clash in the work environment. That's just how it is. Quote, I did have a strong bias towards people who just wanted to get things right, get things done, as opposed to people who were obsessed with, I want to be right. I want to be prominent. I want to have my name in the headlines, he said. And if you could create that culture, then you're more likely to be successful. Very interesting little piece of news here, little piece of information. Again, the whole speech is about an hour long. It will be in the description box below. Yeah, this is an example, like I said, of somebody just using language to obfuscate what's really going on. He may not have had many public White House scandals as far as people that were in the White House doing certain things or saying certain things that got out to the media. However, he did have quite a few scandals as it relates to what was going on under his administration. The ones I mentioned, just a few. You're talking about the state of the country. That's a whole different thing. Maybe that's a scandal in itself. How when he came into office, we just declined as a nation, went into the toilet. Okay, that doesn't really get discussed about Barack Obama. It's the truth. Under Barack Obama, as I close, I was struggling. Friends of mine were struggling. People went bankrupt. It was a mess. So in 2016, we voted against his principles, against his policies. It was not a so-called white lash, like my man Van Jones said, because the person that we voted against was white. So it doesn't make any sense. How is it a white lash against a white person? And if it was going to be a white lash, that would take place in 2012 when he got elected the second time, because really in 2012, it was evident that he was not going to be a good president. We had seen him for 4 years. We already knew what it was. But in 2016, it was just like, you know, how often can you just beat somebody in the head with a baseball bat and just say, okay, well, this is fine. Nothing's going on here. If you're in a burning house, are you just going to stay there and just wait till the fire just goes away? Or are you going to leave the house? Are you going to try to douse the flames? That's what happened in 2016. That's why Trump is there. All the drama stuff you're hearing from the news is really nothing compared to what Obama actually did under his presidency. So what do you think? Do you think that Barack Obama is right in what he said about there being no drama in the White House? Do you think he's being intentionally obtuse with his statement? Do you think he's trying to obfuscate what was really going on in his administration? Is it self-aggrandizement? Does he see himself in a very haughty type of way that the average person, myself, yourself, does not see him? What is your opinion about what he said? Whatever your comments are, please leave them in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.